Welcome back to the Sports Wrap. Kevin McNamara joining me after he broke the news last night of Robert Driscoll, the longtime vice president and athletic director at Providence College, after the news broke that he's going to retire. So, Kevin, thank you so much for joining me. What was this story, or how long has this story been developing for you, and what have you known along the way?
Yeah, I'd say for the last couple of months, there certainly were rumblings that Bob was looking to step aside. He's been there for 21 years, done a great job. I believe he's in his high 60s. So I think the timing is really good for Bob. It's been, obviously a really difficult time for all athletic directors everywhere in the country through the pandemic. He's guided the Friars through that with some success on the men's and women's side, quite a few different teams. And I think whoever will be the next AD will be handing off a pretty good ship.
How big of a loss is this for PC?
Well, I think anyone who's had success for 21 years and the type of success that Bob had was really his people skills. He built a team. He was definitely a team builder. You see the Friartown, billboards and, the trademark that was Bob Driscoll. You see the, billboard on 95 or down at TF Green Airport. That was Bob Driscoll. He wanted PC to be the state's team. He wanted to be Friartown. And I think if you walk on the PC campus right now, literally every athletic facility has either been rehabbed or it's brand new in the last 21 years. That's really Bob Driscoll's legacy.
Yeah, you talk about legacy, and obviously he has led the Friars athletic program into one of the most successful eras, and he's credited with that. As far as how the school moves forward, do you have any idea as far as what the process of that is going to look like?
Yeah, so the athletic department will not be involved in the search. It's a college level, so I think the trustees will be involved. Certainly Father Sicard, the president of the school, will definitely be involved. I do not know what their plans are as far as any type of a search. They definitely have one or two in-house candidates who would be, I think, could really do an excellent job. This job, it wouldn't shock me that if they do somewhat of a search, though. It's a Big East job. It pays very well. And again, this athletic department is really pointed in the right direction.
What is your understanding of why he's retiring now and choosing to do so?
Yeah, I believe his contract is up at the end of this year, and he'll retire at the end of this academic year. So I think timing is fairly smooth.
And then as far as just your personal relationship with him, can you kind of shed some light on, what you've learned about him and what he means maybe to you from covering him?
Yeah, Taylor, this is actually a good story. So I'd say, I was certainly writing stories about the Friars when Bob was hired 21 years ago. And I'd say a year in, we sat down and did a story on what his vision would be for the facilities of Providence. And really, they had Division III level facilities at the time on campus for all sports. And some of these sports were winning Big East championships on a wing and a prayer. And maybe 10 years later, I'm in his office. I didn't really visit his office much. I look up on the wall, and that article was framed on the wall. And he said, Kevin, I frequently look over my shoulder and read that story. And some of the things that we talked about 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 years have now come online. And I think, again, that's really his legacy, that building. One of his Big East comrades last night via text said, good luck to Bob the Builder. He built the program, literally built the facilities that have elevated Providence in the Big East.
And people talk about, all the success that Providence has had under him, but you've seen it from before. You've covered, college basketball. You've covered this beat for a long time. When you think back to before, he got hired, and then when he got hired and where the school is right now, what's the biggest thing that stands out to you?
Well, I think an athletic director's legacy is obviously wins and losses, but really the coaches. And Bob Driscoll certainly had some mistakes, certainly had some fumbles in his 21 years, but he made 2 hires in Ed Cooley in men's basketball and Nate Lehman in men's hockey that have stabilized the entire operation and taken it to the next level. With Nate Lehman winning a national championship, showed that those things can happen at Providence. There was another national championship in women's cross country, the great Ray Tracy, one of the greatest running coaches in America. He won a national title when Bob Driscoll was the athletic director. A lot of ADs say things, we can do it here, we can be championship driven. If you have actual evidence that it did happen, that's the best selling point that you can have.
Absolutely. Kevin McNamara, thank you so much for joining me. More of the Sports Wrap continues after this.